Hello and happy October the 1st. Today is the kickoff of Vlogtober and I am really excited to be able to do this year. I originally wanted to do it in the shed, but unfortunately I have not made it out there yet and I'm kind of sad about that, but it's fine. I do have to show you some footage because we did actually start the drywall process. As you can see, we've managed to get this whole wall done and we got one panel on the opposite side of the window. I will say that windows are harder to cut out than what I remember in my past drywalling time, but we are moving along and I'm excited to see its progress. We also have managed to start on the ceiling. We did the sides, and the reason we haven't done the center yet is because when we added that thicker insulation, we had to increase the inches in the ceiling and we forgot to put the crossbars. So we have to go back and add some 2x4s to kind of make it level and to have a nice flow to the ceiling. There is going to be tongue and groove installed at some point. I just want to get all the drywall up and then get that finished, and then we'll start on the ceiling. And then I already have the flooring that we'll get to installed in. So that's the progress on the shed, and all of that drywall we did yesterday. And that's also why I'm tired. I had this whole thing planned today to share with you for the kickoff of Vlogtober, and it is now 3:58 and I'm just now recording this, and I am looking all kind of sweaty because I managed to go out this morning and record an unbagging of some yarn. Hopefully I'll have that up by tomorrow. And then my father-in-law called and he was like, hey, our refrigerator's leaking, send Lee. So Mr. Yarn had to go over, and the refrigerator was 27 years old. It was time for it to go. So we went with them and got a new refrigerator, and then it took me and the husband pulling out the old refrigerator and putting in the new one. But they like to collect things, and that involved moving furniture around so we can get the refrigerator swapped out. It was just a 3.5, well, they went to go get it. The whole thing was about 5.5 hour process, but luckily I only had to be there for like 3 hours of it. So yeah, not a lot got done, but I did want to show you what I'm working on. So I did put out a video the other day with the things we're making Thursday, and I want to show you what I've done thus far. It's a cute little pumpkin. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it down below. It's a free pattern, but I am actually making mine, or my first one, like one of the ways I talked about in that video. So what I'm doing is I'm using this, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, and this is an ombre color. It's called Desert Sunset, but it's very, very Halloween colors to me. And I'm using a Red Heart with Love in the black. And I'm doing all the double crochet in that Desert Sunset. I think it looks just like a Halloween colorway, so I think it works better for that. And then I'm going and doing all the single crochets in the black. I haven't determined if I want this to be my showing side yet, or if I want this to have the thinner stripes. I don't know. I'll have to kind of see when I get to that point. I did start mine using a single foundation crochet opposed to just chaining, and the reason is because sometimes if you're not careful, that starting chain can make it really buckle and not look flat. You can go up 1 to 2 hook sizes to help alleviate that, or you can do foundation change. So I actually have a video, I think on this channel, doing a double foundation chain, and I just used a single foundation chain. But this has been quite fun. As you can tell, mine's a little bit bigger. So originally, I think the pattern calls for you to single crochet 36. I think I did like 46. I can't honestly remember. It doesn't matter though. You can make it as long as you want, because essentially you're going to make it, and you're going to take this starting in and you're going to keep crocheting all the way over here, and then you're going to sew that ending in and this beginning in together by seaming them, And then we're going to take the ends of the cylinder and we're going to make our pumpkins. So all these little ends, you do not have to worry about stuffing those in if you're wanting to do it this way like I am. I'm actually going to knot them and then I'm just going to tuck them away so nobody will know. Before we go in, I talked about how we have not had very much rain. I want to show y'all the pond behind the barn, but you can see how low the water is. The water usually is right up under the base of that tree, and you can see where the water line usually is. It is so low, so low. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that I was on DIY's live earlier, so if you've not checked that out, I will link that down below. Greenie Square was there, Ursula, and we were just chatting about different techniques in knitting and in crochet. We're outside watching the sunset by my building. This is my swing. There's the building, there's the field, and there's the pond. You can kind of see the sun setting over the trees. I really like to sit out here and end my day. It is very peaceful. Now, I'm not saying that my day is ending because I still have one load of laundry to fold and I still have to play Fortnite with my husband because that's just a daily ritual that we do. But I wanted to come out here and talk about something that I have been doing with this. If you don't know, I am a knife grip holder. I have plates and pins in both of my arms, and the reason I learned to knit and crochet from books and stuff is because I couldn't learn from anybody else. I cannot hold my yarns and stuff the way they did, so I've kind of had to manipulate a bunch of different ways to try to figure out my own way. And over the years, and with my age, I've realized that I'm starting to get more hand grips with crochet. And so I'm trying to break free of my knife hold, which is a small feat of mankind, people. It's like so hard, and do the pencil grip. So like, I need some pointers. I also want to say the first of this video looks very blown out, and that was not any kind of filter. That was literally, I had the exposure on my video settings messed up, and I think there was actually a thumbprint over the camera. So I apologize for that. I'll try to be more attentive to those kind of things. But I did want to show y'all the stuff that I showed on Jeanette DIY's live this morning, because I realized that apparently my children were eating all the bandwidth and my video got really blurry. We have been having some major packet loss again, which is very frustrating because we pay to have really good internet since we're a homeschool family, and literally there's at least 2 to 3 people on the internet like at all times at my house. It's part of homeschool. So I needed to go back and watch that and take note when that happens so I can turn that in again. But this is the cowl that I showed, and this was my first time knitting interlock, and it is a Marley Bird cowl. I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby. I think this is called Mulberry. This is like 2013, 2014 knitting, so it's kind of hard to remember. And I'm pretty sure, like 99.5, that this was called Pewter. I'm almost positive. But it's not horrible for the first time doing it. I have a lot of tension issues. Again, brand new knitter though. And I was probably trying something that I had no business doing. But I think that that is how we learn, so I encourage you to do that. Also, always step out of your comfort zone, and there's definitely some areas that should have been tighter. I don't hate it though. There's a really big squirrel in that tree chawing down on a pine cone. And then the other thing I showed was this shawl from the Jimmy Beans Mystery and Knit Along. This was also 2014, maybe 2015, and this was a Vikings related mystery knit along. This is the shawl that I showed, and I think this was a kit. I think I bought yarn in a kit. I know that the blue was the Ragnarok. That was the colorway dyed exclusively for this knit along. I want to say that this darker gray was something that I just pulled. I don't think that these two were an actual pairing. I think this is something where, again, as normal fashion, I went off on my own. I typically don't buy yarn kits to go with a pattern. If I like the yarn, I'll buy the yarn, but I'll use it in something completely different. As far as the kit, whole kit, I just don't like having things that everyone else is going to have. I like the ability to make my own kits and have something that's going to have more uniqueness. But we were talking about German short rows, and it's kind of harder to see, but you can see how like it gets thin here and it gets much bigger here, but that is the German short row. So in this section we did stripes of the two colors alternating, and so you would knit and go about here, come back, go here, knit, go a little bit further, come back, and each time you would just go a little bit further out, and that's how you create this stacking of the fabric, and it really makes it stack. And then we just kind of picked up and did it more of a full panel all the way across. But that is how those things worked out. I do want to say that this is probably going to be a hodgepodge of a kickoff for Vlogtober. I really hope that it improves for you throughout the week, but I thought it would be fun to show some behind the scenes and let you see just how crazy my little world is, and so you can get to know me more, and I can ask you questions as progresses and get to know you more as well. So I hope you enjoy day 1 of Vlogtober, and I will see you bright and early in the morning. Bye.